took all the first team reps on the field with the Cleveland starters for the first time this week. And people inside the Browns building say there's been a calm about Sanders that sticks out. Today's the day. I'm recording this on the Sunday Shedeur Sanders makes his first start, but today we're going to release another comment reading video. As y'all all know, sadly, I am not going to be doing the live stream I typically do every single Sunday. They will be back next Sunday. And I think, it's just perfect timing. I think Shedeur needs to do what he does, and I'm confident he's going to do what he needs to get done. And don't worry, when I'm done what I need to get done, I'm going to come yell on this mic. The title of this video is going to be like, hey, this is the real reason why we love and we support Shedeur, because I got to be honest with y'all, even if he has a bad game, I'm still going to be right here supporting him. So let me read some of y'all's amazing comments from the supporters of Shedeur and some of the audience members of mine. Starting off the bat, Eugene Combs says, that Dayball interview thing is a slave master mentality. You must grovel because we are the masters of the universe. Now, that's something that I've been pretty adamant when I was making, early on draft videos, is that, whether you agree or disagree, the biggest sin Shedeur Sanders apparently has, except for, his on-field stuff, and people, it's highly debated, but the biggest sin that he committed off the field in the interviews was apparently that he didn't, again, grovel. He didn't act like these NFL higher ups were the greatest person ever. He didn't get down or try to, make himself be small. Instead, he made the other people feel small because of how confident he was. Like, Shedeur is somebody who's not going to waver or change for anybody. And I think that's an important thing to do, because certain people are told that we have to look certain ways and bend the things that we have been learning through culture, things that our families have taught us, things that our family have told us should make us more confident and strong young men. And then when we get into certain rooms, it's like they want to dim that light to make sure they can fit in the box that they want to put you in. So interesting conversation to have. Marie says, when you're dealing with shrinkage, a confident young black man can be threatening. I mean, I couldn't say it better than that. Here we go. Song Youngston says, Mary Kay, aka Karen, is a Browns plant. Now, Mary Kay Cabot is a mouthpiece of the Browns organization. We've been over this a few times where, look, as much as some people might disagree and not like the way she does things, you cannot disagree that a lot of things that she says are true, right? She's early on the Dylan Gabriel start. She's early on, Joe Flacco getting traded. Like, it's easy to say, she's annoying XYZ, but the full scope is that she's also has real deal insider information. So she's a good resource to kind of tap into, but you do got to kind of, you got to kind of watch it the way it goes. So, Kevin has an expiration date. I want to see Shedeur soar. And this is what I want to say, in some of my other videos, my non-comment reading videos, I think some of y'all have been upset that I've been giving Kevin Stefanski just a little bit of credit. And that's my thing, right? If I would not be me if I didn't give at least some credit to some of the positive things. It doesn't absolve everything that Kevin Stefanski does. And the biggest point that I make when I say fire Kevin Stefanski is it's not even about Shedeur. Like, I want y'all to know, Shedeur has just put a magnifying glass on the fact that the Browns haven't won very many games in the last 2 to 3 years, that they haven't had a good offense in the last 2 to 3 years, that they have one of the most expensive quarterbacks on their roster and they can't get production out of it. That's not just I'm a Shedeur fan. No, I'm looking at it as a football fan. There hasn't been an effective football team. You feel what I'm saying? So, continuing on, this is much deeper than Stefanski. This is the NFL brotherhood ownership thing. I don't think it's yes, I do think it's the NFL owners. I do think it's a select few of NFL owners that do not like Deion Sanders, that do not like the fact that he was, he had the audacity, like, the Manning family had. He had the audacity to think that he could choose where, some of his players and some of his young men could go to. And it's like, if me giving up my years as a career, sacrificing my body, being one of the best in the league doesn't give me enough leeway just to choose where my son goes, dog. That's it. He's not asking for an NFL team. He's asking to ensure that his son goes to a certain NFL team. Now, Deuce Vaughn, right? Y'all don't talk about Deuce Vaughn. Yeah, Deuce Vaughn is the son of one of the coaches of the Dallas Cowboys. So, I mean, again, it depends on who y'all want. It's certain nepotism is acceptable. Only certain flavors of nepotism is accepted. But if they think you're bigger than the program, they're gonna try to knock you down. DG has the most college starts due to being there the longest. Supercomputer has taken 6 years to complete college undergrad. Now, I don't think we should, again, I don't like being negative about Dylan Gabriel, but that is the fact. The fact is he was there for 6 years. He has the most career starts. He also has the most career touchdowns at the FBS level. So I'm not going to sit here and disrespect Dylan Gabriel. I'm just going to say when he's playing bad and he's not playing good. Right now, he's not playing. So, we just hope that he recovers well and good. So 10-12 facts. But hey, the ish helped me. I was 5'10" in linebacker. I was getting recruited. My pops made me wear Timbs all the way, and we lived in California. So this is when I was talking about in this last video about, I don't know how many of y'all, I'm assuming a lot of y'all have played football growing up, right? This is why y'all, keep up with football stuff, X, Y, Z. So when I was basically discussing the fact that it seems like Dylan Gabriel's height changes every single day. Some people say he's 5'11", sometimes it's 5'9", sometimes it's like, first off, he's not 5'11". Like we can all agree he's not 5'11". I don't know why and this is, again, I am not disrespecting Dylan Gabriel. I just know how height is lied when you get into play National Football League. I think in basketball, I think they actually lie about their height going the opposite direction because big men don't want to be labeled as big men. They want to be able to, I think, shoot more threes or be ball handlers or something like that. There's something like that in basketball. But in football, if you're not a football guy, you always lie about your height up. It don't matter what position you play. It's always good to be a little bigger and a little stronger, especially at the high school level, right? And I'm happy that a lot of people, they kind of saw that and they kind of related to that, because that is a big thing that we did in high school when you were trying to get your tape together. Mr. Brownie says, Tings, I'm telling you, there needs to be a Tings pause counter. Okay. Somebody down below, do a Tings pause counter. Keep up with it. But y'all not just going to make fun of me because I say silly things, all right? I do say a lot of silly things, but that's a good comment. I'm here less than 20 minutes in is crazy. My timeline loves you. I appreciate y'all appreciating me, man. I really do appreciate y'all appreciating me. And all the new subscribers, all the old subscribers. Speaking of old, I'm not saying old subscribers, but someone who's been here for a while. Leanne says, at 11:49, Anthony Lima is a troll. She makes a really good point. And I'm not sure if y'all been noticing, but this last week of content, I've been kind of staying away from some of the Browns media, right? I think they've gotten enough publicity from me. And there's other YouTube channels that are going to continue to cover them and continue whatever they say they're going to have a conversation about. I'm just over it. I see the play. I see the flip-flopping. I see, even people like Anthony Rizzo are trying to, paint certain narratives. So at the end of the day, I just can't feed into that anymore. So I'm going to bring y'all facts and stats and different things like that. I might use them as, stepping stools to create a full idea of my videos. But Anthony Lima is a troll. He he spent all these weeks talking about how terrible Shedeur is, leaking lies. And then when Shedeur goes out there and, has a great press conference too. I know he had a bad game, but he was like, oh my God, actually Shedeur is actually a decent person. I think I just like making fun of, of his fan base. And it's like, y'all don't get it. Like, and that's been my big thing. Like a lot of y'all, first off, I'm happy that he admitted it, because most people don't actually hate Shedeur. And that's been my point. There is no reason to hate Shedeur. Shedeur doesn't do anything out of the ordinary to make people hate you. The only thing that y'all get upset with is that he has a fan base. That's what makes y'all so mad. It makes y'all mad that people support him no matter what, that people want to see him succeed. That makes you upset. And I've told y'all, the world's not fair, right? If the world's not fair and Shedeur is a 5th round pick, well, the world's not fair. Dylan Gabriel's not going to get the same support. He's not Shedeur Sanders. Hey, nepotism works in every single world. You think nepotism only ends with you, your son, or your cousin or somebody? No. Haven't y'all heard the old adage, your network is your net worth, right? So why does that end when it comes to a billionaire level of network? I'm not saying that he's a billionaire. Shedeur's not a billionaire, but he got a billionaire level of network, right? NFL greats, Tom Brady's, Deion Sanders, right? And now it's a problem. Y'all wondering why people have support from him. We've been supporting Deion Sanders. There's people less young than me. I don't say older, less young than me, that have been supporting Deion Sanders since some of y'all haters were alive. And y'all wonder why Shedeur got support and is going to continue to have support no matter what. I keep telling y'all that. But anyway, Kenneth says, if they knew Yah and Yeshua, they never would have touched Shedeur. Sanders with their evil, lying words and intentions. Stefanski is getting rewarded for attempting to bug break Shedeur Sanders. He's hard-headed and hard-hearted like Pharaoh. He thinks more highly of himself and his abilities than he ought to. His fall will be like Humpty Dumpty. Shedeur's father is righteous, faithful, praying man after Yah's own heart. That was the first warning signs that states do not touch. Yah will repay all. Yah, of course, is Yahweh, is another term for God. But yeah, that's another odd thing to me. The way that people hate on Deion Sanders, you would think that he wasn't a God-fearing Christian man. It seems like, I don't know. Maybe there's another reason why they hate him. I don't know. Y'all let me know. y'all gonna let me know in the comments. Stefanski is a monkey wrench. Whoa. He's getting paid to tank. People didn't believe me when I said Ryan Day was deliberately losing games at Ohio State. No coach would have survived those Michigan losses without guarantees. I'm not sure about that. But this. Now this, I like this tinfoil. I like this. Kevin Stefanski does things that are so fireable that it has to be deliberate. People just assume coaches are always trying to win. That's been my big thing. Like, I don't like I want y'all to know it's not a good argument to say, oh, you think an NFL team doesn't want to win? You think they're not going to do the best thing to win? Yeah. Yes. I've seen the Browns do it for multiple decades. That's been and I've said this 1,000 times. Because I always attack Kevin Stefanski. I attack the Browns. I don't like attacking Dylan Gabriel. Y'all know I do not like going for the Dylan Gabriel. Hey, he's a young man trying to live out his dreams as well. It wasn't his fault that Kevin Stefanski reached on him as a fifth round pick or fifth round rated. They reached from the third round. That was not Dylan Gabriel's fault. He did not do that, right? Okay? So I'm not going to put any blame on him. I will put blame on Kevin Stefanski, the man who chose him. I will put blame on Kevin Stefanski, the man who's been bad for multiple years. This isn't some new thing. This isn't like some, oh, you just a Shedeur fan and you think the Browns. No, I'm a Shedeur fan that's also been watching football for a long time. And I ask y'all every year, besides Bernie Kosar, what quarterback can you name for me from the Browns? Tim Couch? Johnny Manziel? Like, who is the most proficient quarterback? Okay, then I'll stop you there. Name me the quarterbacks that left the Browns and did great things. Baker Mayfield, Jacoby Brissett, like all these other people. What about Deshaun Watson, who was an MVP and came over? Like, there's a issue. And I don't know if it's just that the Browns are cursed or Kevin Stefanski is a terrible coach, but it has to be one of them. You can't just keep losing the way y'all lose, having a terrible offense the way that y'all do, and think that it has anything to do other than their coaching staff. It really is jarring, the fact that people I don't know if it's out of hate for Shedeur or maybe out of hate because I don't like the Shedeur fans, which is the dumbest thing ever. You're mad at y'all get mad at Shedeur Sanders because people support him, and y'all don't think that there's something wrong with your mind. You make fun of Shedeur fans, I guess. Cool. Go troll them. But to try to make fun of Shedeur like he's the one writing the positive comments about himself when all he's done is take accountability, when all he's done is say, hey, I could play better. I need to do these things better. All he does, shout out to Deanna Rossini, and I hate we had to go here. All he's done is prepare extra hard. Now I know the game's going to be today, and whatever happens, happens. But I want y'all to know, because I was thinking about making a video about this. Again, I've been busy, but y'all know I like to put a little sauce on my commentary video or my comment reading videos. And that reminded me of something really important that came out this weekend. So shout out Nick Padoon, right? He says, oh man, Shedeur Sanders is ready to go for the first Brown start. Really encouraging. This is from Deanna Rossini. Now she's an inside leaker. Now I will say she's leaked a whole bunch of stuff. So this isn't just a Browns leak or something like that. She's a well-known she's the NFL leaker. Like she's the one, right? So this is not no biased or whatever, because I know people are gonna say that. But this is what she had to say. So Browns GM Andrew Berry made the selection, and now in late November, Sanders gets his chance. He took all the first team reps on the field with the Cleveland starters for the first time this week. And people inside the Browns building say there's been a calm about Sanders that sticks out. Report on that, Anthony Lima. You gonna leak that one out? Okay, cool. Coaches and teammates have watched him roam the halls with his iPad under his arms, bouncing from meeting to meeting, stopping for extra one-on-one sessions with Coach Kevin Stefanski, and that's why I'm not going to fully bury Kevin Stefanski. I say Kevin Stefanski is bad at his job, and he's stubborn because he wants Dylan Gabriel to be great, even though every other NFL scout says Dylan Gabriel is not that guy. I don't know. Maybe it's because of that leak that apparently Kevin Stefanski said he wanted to put Shedeur Sanders on a redshirt year. Hey, I don't know. But all I can say is that it seems that Shedeur has some sort of comfortability with him and is embracing Kevin Stefanski to some regard. So I'm gonna give him a little leeway. Y'all don't, I'm not telling y'all to give him leeway. I'm not telling y'all to, but just from this report, okay. And of course, the report that Kevin Stefanski had been meeting with Shedeur Sanders early morning, every practice day to review practice film. That's again something y'all don't like. Y'all don't like leaking that. Right? Y'all don't like leaking the truth. Okay, cool. For a third day pick who barely took reps earlier in the season, Sanders is, as one Browns player described it, treating this start like a final exam he can't fail, right? Shedeur Sanders will get his first NFL start against the Raiders after appearing in relief in a lost game to the Ravens. One staffer told me they've seen him in the cafeteria tray in front of him, iPad out, dissecting Raiders tape as if his career depends on it, because in many ways, it does. Sanders has done everything possible to prepare, I've been told. He's not in the league simply to fill a roster spot. He's here to make a statement. Sunday isn't just a first start. It's Sanders' opportunity to rewrite the narrative, and he's determined to do just that, even if not many people believe he'll be able to do it. Now, I want Shedeur to know that we in the CU aunties and the people on this side, my audience, we believe in you, right? We really do believe, and a lot of these commenters believe in you. Sorry. So I wanted to put that out there in this video. I hope y'all go through it. But let's do a speed round through some of these comments. Man said Pepperidge Farms remembers. If you know, you know. Great jokes, a great throwback, great commentary. Thank you. Kevin and them is so sensitive. I do think Kevin's a little sensitive. We who are believers in Christ are not told to match people's energy. Jesus said, love your enemies, do good to them, so you can be like your Father in heaven. He will vindicate his elect publicly. And this is why I continue to say, do not come here with that negative stuff towards Dylan Gabriel. Let's just come with the truth towards the Browns and the Browns organization. You don't have to dig that deep to know that the Browns have been setting every quarterback up for failure. Let's stick it right there because, again, Dylan Gabriel is a young man, who's trying his hardest. And at the end of the day, is that something that Deion Sanders would want? It's, the way that he speaks about God, the way that he walks through faith. I don't think he would want us persecuting another young man because he wants to do how he wants to do. Tings, innovative and cool content with the comment reading content. It's not, I want to let y'all know, it's not innovative. I want y'all to know, I don't want y'all to give me too much credit. Y'all just leave great comments and y'all leave great conversation starters. I wanted to make sure I highlight y'all because at the end of the day, I'm not who I can't make this content if y'all don't watch it. You feel me? Like I would just be some dude yapping into a mic if it wasn't for y'all. Y'all are what make the difference. Y'all are what makes the content. Y'all are what makes me make more content because I see there's an audience there that is hungry for it and wants it. So I appreciate that. The type of petty I am, I wouldn't give any of the Browns beat reporters an interview when I become QB1. Browns are ruining Dylan's career. They keep putting him into positions to fail. I agree. I think he was leaving as a troll. I agree. I agree. I do. What's weird is that Shedeur Sanders promoted the Giants, and both sides were clearly fond of each other. I can't say Dart was a bad pickup, but to pass up on Shedeur Sanders when he was clearly looking forward to playing for the Giants is kind of crazy. That's another thing. Like, it really felt like Shedeur was kind of lulled to sleep there, where like they had so many interviews, they were locked in. He had the Giants cleats, right? I don't know what happened at the last second there, but it is very interesting to point out the fact that everybody seems to think that something weird went off at the end there. So love G Bush, man. Glad you came together. Hope y'all do some more. Plus, he's from Canton, Hall of Fame City. Love to see that. Peacock Munchin is a little crazy. my fault. With Brian Daboll getting fired and Dylan turning out to be trash as we knew it, in the words of Brother Malcolm X, the chickens have come to roost. Now, we won't say all that, but definitely Brian Daboll getting fired was a chicken coming home to roost. The Browns are being controlled by the NFL Brotherhood. This is a power move on Shedeur and Coach Prime to let them know they have more power than their brand in their Prime Equity Agreement. Prime Equity Agreement is not real. But that's why they held Shedeur out until the 5th round. That him buried on the depth chart just to prove a point. Now, there's a lot of people with a lot of different takes about the 5th round thing and if it's the NFL, is the Browns. Comment down below what y'all think. Do y'all think that this was the NFL versus Deion, NFL versus Shedeur, or do y'all think Shedeur is just not that talented and that's why he dropped to the 5th round? I think the truth is somewhere in between there, right? Not the not talented thing, but I do think it's a mixture of trying to stick it to Shedeur while also trying to stick it to Deion Sanders. Tell them again, big dog, the rejected will be respected. The rejected will be respected. That's all it is. I'm gonna keep saying this. AB is a GM name only. Haslam needs Kevin to curb his draft enthusiasm. Okay. As a poem. What happened to accountability? Browns every week is the same speech. We gotta get better. The Giants wanted Shedeur, but Dayball messed him over because he wanted dark. Dude, the only podcaster that calls out Stefanski and Barry is John Middlecoff. And dude, the best and brightest had Bryce Young as the number 1 overall pick, and Kyler Murray, and had Mac Jones in the first round, and Trey Lance and Fields, and let's not forget Lawrence. But at least he had the physical tools, so at least be prepared to progress through reads when they could. The people that get paid to do this don't know any more than most fans these days. That's an interesting thought point. And 101. So every GM and coach lied. What was actually, I don't even know. Got fired. Now I do want to clarify a few things. There is, when those leaks came out, the Brian Daboll thing. You know, I don't think they all lied, but I think certain ones lied. And I think the thing about collusion is it only takes a few people. What's it called? So, you know, I think only 3 or 4 teams that need a quarterback, if they colluded together, that's enough to make the other teams that probably weren't looking for a quarterback be like, wait, what? Like, we weren't even thinking about getting Shedeur. So I think it's a multi thing, right? He chose wrong, talking about Brian Daboll. I will subscribe only you. Shout out to Leanne. Like a girl, what the F? Yeah, because Brian Daboll was going crazy. And that's about the end of the comments. They usually put the mean comments at the bit. But I'll read this. That's crazy part. Y'all whining about let Shedeur start. Have you ever really watched the Browns offense? Do you really want him to play? And then I love people like this who don't listen to what I have to say, and they say things that I've never said. I've never whined about Shedeur Sanders starting. So I'd advise you to actually watch the videos before doing all that and making these contests. But Shedeur Sanders will be making his start quite soon when you're watching this video, probably just a few hours after that. So let's just hope that everything goes great. Let's hope everything is absolutely phenomenal. And I hope your day's phenomenal. I hope you have a great Sunday. I'm going to be doing some beautiful things with some beautiful people today. And I just hope you all have an amazing Sunday. See you next time. Peace.